and gentlemen, welcome to Cherie's World. Tonight we got a very special show in for you tonight. My cousin is in the house co-hosting, along with Mr. Courtney Blackman and I. And we've got Miss Keisha Greaves in the house. She is here to tell us about the two businesses that she's running. And one is called Chronically Girls Rock.
The only podcast coming through your beat stereo is Cherie's World, so let's go around like a merry-go. Plug your phone in, make sure it got a full battery. Download it Wednesday, listen to it Saturday. She cover all topics, whatever you after. She got ball players, authors, doctors, actors, rappers, singers, entrepreneurs, divas, leaders. Androids or Apple, turn up your speakers. Trying to shoot my shot like the vaccine. Whether it's Cherie or Maxine, whether the podcast or acting, she that queen. PYT, you know what that mean. Saw you on TV and touch the screen. Touch on you, I plead Lil C's got a crush on you. It'll mean the world to get a blush from you. Teaspoon to me, leave you sleep like Robitussin do.
I am so excited to have you. I've become a huge fan. She doesn't have just one business, but she has two businesses. So first I want to hear about Chronic Girls Rock.
Sure. So, of course, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. And yeah, I had started Girls Chronically Rock in 2017 to help inspire and motivate others in the disability community. Because I myself have a disability. I live with muscular dystrophy, and I was diagnosed in that when I was actually in graduate school. So around like 2010, it wasn't even something I was born with. It kind of came out of nowhere. So as you can imagine, there I was in my early 20s, living my best life, having fun, partying, and then boom, started to get really weird symptoms. Went to the doctors. We did several testings. And that's when she called me and said, Keisha, you have muscular dystrophy. So as you can imagine, my world turned upside down on that day.
Can you tell us what your symptoms were?
Sure. Kind of bizarre. Always been like kind of a thick, like big girl. So I honestly thought like I would just be walking and my leg would kind of just give out on me. So I just thought, oh, no big deal. Let me just lose some weight, go to the gym, whatever. But it just kept on happening and happening. And it was at the last moment, me and my mom and sister were at the supermarket. And I'm actually walking out the supermarket, pushing the cart. And boom, I fall to the floor, kind of like a dead weight. And when I fell, it wasn't like I was able to boom, get myself back up. It was like I was a dead weight on the floor. Like I couldn't get myself back up. My mom and sister couldn't. And I remember a man at the time in the parking lot came over and was like, hey, do you guys need help? And he was able to help me up. And it was at that moment where my mom was like, you know what? I think it's time. Let's go see an orthopedic because we're thinking maybe it's just something in the feet. So I'm like, all right, still not really, just kind of brushing it off. Like, all right, we'll go. So we go out here in Boston to Tufts Medical Hospital. I always remember that day. I go in regular examination. I lie down. They asked me to raise my right leg. The right leg would not extend out how it would, as it normally should for able body. And that was the first time I noticed that. And they kind of both looked at each other like, they was like, I think you need to see a neurologist, because this looks like something more neuromuscular. So I'm like, all right, still not really thinking anything much. I'm just like kind of brushing it off. I go to a neurologist. We go straight to it. Out here in Cambridge, Mass, where I'm from, we do several testings, EKG, EMG, MRI. Most interesting of all was the muscle biopsy, where they took a piece of muscle from out of my right leg. I was wide awake for that. Was not put to sleep. I have a high tolerance for pain, so it's whatever. So yeah, from that muscle biopsy, that's when they was able to determine that I have muscular dystrophy.
Wow. Amazing. And I didn't lead with your disability because to me, I forget.
Yeah.
And one of the things you say is trust your ability. You have your foundation, trust your ability. Can you tell us about that as well?
Sure. So Trust Your Abilities is a nonprofit I started about 2 years now. And with that, I just wanted to kind of start a nonprofit to help people like myself with disabilities because it's always hard for us to find caregivers. I mean, relying on caregivers is tough. It's a lot. That in itself can stress someone out. So I just wanted to open that up to kind of get grants and funding because the insurance doesn't always cover for the full hours for someone for a caretaker. Like, I would have like 30 hours, but I may need somebody more than that. So it's like the insurance doesn't cover, like, say, that extra extend. So it's like I wanted to open that fund to kind of, pay for that extra extend for the caregivers. But I have another nonprofit as well. I
Really?
don't want to, yes, I have GCR Adaptive Project. That one I'm kind of more excited about. That's kind of, I opened last year, December. And with that GCR Adaptive Project, I kind of say it's kind of like a spin-off of Girls Chronically Rock. So with that, I'm working with different universities out here in Massachusetts, the universities that have a fashion program to kind of teach them the importance of adaptive fashion for people with disabilities. So that is what I'm doing right now. And with that, I'm getting grants and funding to kind of help support the fashion students to buy these materials. Because when I tell people, I'm like, people don't know the school doesn't pay for our fabric materials, our, magnetic buttons, our snaps, our fabric. We got to come out the pocket for that. And
Wow.
looking back, I'm like, thank God for my mother. Because I'm like, I know I was a nag in college, like, Ma, I need this, I need that. So, when she be like, all right, all right. So, on top of books, we got to pay for other elective courses. So, I'm like, here I am adding on adaptive fashion with that, with extra fabric they got to buy. So I'm like, let me see if I can get some sponsors and grants to provide and help these students, provide this adaptive wear. So right now I'm working with Framingham State University, the university I graduated from. I actually just added on Mass College of Art out here in Boston, Mass. And I'm looking to add like FIT and other more like fashion schools in New York. So I'm like, yes, I love in the city of Boston. I love my city, but I'm like, I'm gonna be real. New York is where the fashion is at. So I'm
Okay,
like,
I want to stop you real quick. You said adapted fashion.
yes,
What
adaptive
exactly
fashion
does
meaning
that?
like more accessible, more functionable for someone like myself to get dressed. For instance, I have a disability, as I mentioned, I'm in a wheelchair. I'm wheelchair bound. So just to put on a t-shirt and pants is a hassle. It's a lot, and that's with the caregiver help. So as you can only imagine, just putting on one leg at a time, as I'm sure you guys can just hop on like, oh, let me just put on my pants real quick. It's not as
Yeah.
easy for someone like myself. So adaptive fashion may have something like with more necessities on it, like magnetic snaps, where the button or the shirt can easily open, more leisure for us to easily put on our shirt and take on our shirt, and same thing with pants. Like for instance, Tommy Hilfiger now has an adaptive clothing line that a lot of people don't know that. So
I
definitely
didn't.
go check it out. Same thing with Target. They recently launched an adaptive line. So I'm excited that more designers are getting more awareness and you kind of bringing that inclusion into the fashion industry.
That's really exciting. See what I'm saying? That's why I didn't lead with this Shar because she out hustles me.
My God, really? You see, I haven't said a word. I'm just sitting here like, well, okay, you better work.
I'm
And if you
trying.
ever need any assistance with anything in Boston, I'm from Boston. So
Oh,
if you
really?
ever need, some
How did I
support,
not know that?
holla at your
Okay.
girl because I'll come out and represent for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Courtney, had you ever heard of adapted fashions before?
No, I haven't.
That's brilliant.
Do.
It's
It,
brilliant.
I'm sorry. I just came in at the tail end of it. Can you go? Well, I don't want you to have to recite it, but
That's
can you
fine.
just give me a quick summary?
Sure. So adaptive fashion is something more accessible and more functional for someone like myself living with a disability because I live with muscular dystrophy and I am wheelchair bound. So as you can imagine, like my PCAs have to help me transfer from like a Hoyer lift, which is pretty much like on a sling, to transfer me from my wheelchair to the bed. So just getting dressed, as you can imagine, is a hassle. I tell people when I come out from the shower, it's like I just finished running the Boston Marathon, if that makes sense. That's how exhausting it is. So it's just to get dressed. That's another exhaustion. So just to put on pants with adaptive fashion, it may mean like some magnetic snaps, something like with more of an easier closure, some snaps like on the shoulder to easily put on and off the shirt and kind of give that room to easily, wiggle my arms. Because with muscular dystrophy, it's kind of hard. For instance, I can't like say if I was to meet you guys in person, like to extend my arms out, like to give you a hug. That's kind of like a struggle. Putting my arm out to say give you a handshake, that's a struggle. So it's like it's kind of the weakness pretty much from my shoulders down to pretty much my legs.
so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney.
No, it's funny you say that. Did you hear about Elon Musk? Did you hear what the new
Chip.
technologies coming? Yeah, the new chip they put.
No,
Yeah, you heard about that?
I
I
didn't hear
have.
about that.
So it's a new chip that's supposed to control everything from your mind.
I was going to ask if you were talking the brain chip.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I heard it's coming out next
Okay,
year.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, I just heard about it today. I don't know how long, but it's amazing.
I was
Okay.
going to say, does it help with stem cells? Like,
I don't know.
Ooh,
I
I
don't.
wonder.
They haven't said a whole lot about like explaining exactly what it is yet, but from what understand it's just some type of it's supposed to, whatever you can't do on your own, I don't know, neurologically or whatever from your brain, this chip is supposed to fill in those blanks to help you to work, kind of like as a what's the word I'm looking
Okay.
for?
Maybe they'll let me try it out.
Android type of thing, like it. It's an AI technology, dude. You know what I mean? So
That's
That
crazy.
sounds pretty cool.
It is cool, especially if it'll help people who have stem cell issues. You say that it takes a lot of strength just to give a hug, right?
Mhm.
But where you might not have the strength to always do that, you get up and you hustle every day. So
I try.
where do you get that inspiration and that mental strength from to keep going?
Like I tell people, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, just because you may see me laughing or cheerful and focusing on my business, I still have my days. I was like, I am living with muscular dystrophy. There's some days I wake up, I don't know what the body's gonna feel like. I don't know what it wants to do. My caregivers may come and I'm like, give me like 10 more minutes. So it's totally exhausting, but I definitely get up, as you're right. I keep going. I get grateful when I get opportunities to speak on podcasts like yours, and when I get messages from other people like, "Oh, Keisha, I love what you're doing, and I support your mission, and my aunt or my family may have MS or muscular dystrophy," that honestly keeps me motivated and inspired. That definitely does. But I tell people on the real, like, my shows honestly is what keep me sane. I'm a TV fanatic. I love watching my shows, and I'm like, if it wasn't for my shows, it's like I don't know what I'll be, because especially when I'm down or if I have a fall, like, know when I got something on my DVR to watch or Netflix or something like that, honestly just keeps me sane and going, and I block everything out. So it's like my TV shows definitely make me happy.
What are you watching a lot of?
Oh, I just finished watching Harlem on Amazon Prime,
Heard about it.
and I love watching all the housewife shows. And I just finished watching Saved by the Bell
Oh,
on Peacock. But then I would turn around and I watch the Disney Channel. So I watch everything from, like, I would say Ratchet to like kids. And then I love watching Lifetime. I can't leave out my Lifetime movies.
have you watched a few of the Lifetime Christmas movies already?
Yes, I watched some of them. The one with Kelly Rowland. I have. They started early this year.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, let me put them on my Christmas tree.
That is so cute. TV, hey, you keep people paid.
Yeah, that's what
Now,
keeps me sane.
do you believe in the power of manifestation?
I'm honestly now recently got into it. I'm trying to get into it more.
I was just wondering because obviously nothing can stand in your way from completing your goals. And so
Yeah.
I was wondering if you lay there sometimes and just manifest how your tomorrow is going to be.
Yeah, I try. I definitely do, and plan things into the future for 2022. And, I definitely have a lot of goals that I hope to accomplish.
Can we have a sneak peek of what some of them are?
Oh, sure. I mean, I would love to collaborate with a designer I looked up to, Tommy Hilfiger. As I mentioned, he launched his adaptive line. I'm looking to get Girls Chronically Rock, hopefully in major fashion shows like LA Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. Another goal is mine is to get Girls Chronically Rock into Target, Macy's, and different retail channels. So that's kind of like my focus with that, and just start bringing in the revenue and profits that I want so I can live comfortably. Like I say, like I'm trying to live like the Kardashians.
I am not mad.
I love
It's
it.
true though. The people that I know with disabilities out hustle the people that I know that don't have disabilities. Like one of my homeboys actually helped me get my mortgage. He's a
Oh,
broker.
wow.
Yeah, he's a broker, and he had an accident in college where he broke his neck. He was playing football, and they were full like helmet, pads, everything inside of the gym, and they weren't supposed to be doing full contact. Somebody ran him into the wall, and it broke his spinal cord. And then another one of my friends, Brandon, he's a rapper and he's a music producer. And I mean, dude is always on tour and gone. Like he's got a better social life than I've ever had. And he's wheelchair bound. He also was playing with his friends in school, and like junior high, they dog piled on him and broke his neck and broke his
Oh
spine.
my goodness.
I feel like 9 times
Ouch.
out of 10, when you lose the control over a certain part of your body, it makes your mind work harder, because you definitely at that point feel like you can fight through it. Like, I remember so I was in a car accident when I was 18, and I crushed my pelvic bone so badly that they told me that I was never going to walk again. You remember this, Chair?
Oh yeah, very vividly.
And I think you come to a point when you lose that control of your body, that you decide, like, am I gonna give into this and just call it quit, throw in the towel, or am I still gonna fight to have the best life that I can? And it makes you work harder. It makes you it tests every bit of everything that you have inside of you, but you learn that you're limitless in a sense. Like, you can do so many other things, even if you can't control this certain part of your body. Like, they told me I would never walk again, and Cherie knows. She saw me bust my ass. She carried me to the toilet like this. You know what I mean? Like,
but I also saw you
mm-hmm.
push your walker to the side. I came to visit one day after work. She pushed her walker to the side and walked to me.
After I was in a wheelchair, after I was in, I got out of that chair, fell down a million times, whatever, but I didn't accept what they told me. Mine is different than your situation, of course, but for me, I refused to accept what they told me, and it made me work so much harder. I got out of that wheelchair. I got into, like she said, into a walker, then onto crutches. And then I walked into an audition, 8 months later, where they told me I would never do that again. And
look at that.
And I feel like at the end of the day, if I just listened to what they said and given up, then yeah, life would be completely different. You know what I mean? But it made me focus and think of everything possible outside of that to make the best quality life that I could have. So I applaud you. I think you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
And the fact that you are doing this this clothing line, it's going to give so many people so much independence. You know what I mean? And I know that's super important, because I hated
it is
carrying me to the toilet. I'm gonna tell you that now. But so I know how important that independence is, and this clothing line is going to give that to so many people. And I think you're so awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do.
My mom was diagnosed with MS when she was in her 40s.
Oh, wow.
And she's still fighting it now. And so just watching you are a true inspiration to so many. I hope that you realize that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Girls chronically rock, girl. You chronically rocking yourself.
I try, I take it day by day. But like Shar, I can totally agree with what you were saying about when the doctors told you that. Like, that's how I was that day when the doctor called me. Because I'm like, who has muscular dystrophy? Not me. I'm thinking like she called the wrong patient.
Right.
Got the test results mixed up, because nobody in my family seems to have it. I even tease my mother to this day. I'm like, was I switched at birth? So so I was in total denial. I wasn't telling any family and friends, even when it started to progress, because at first I was able to walk, drive independently, do my thing. So looking at me, you wouldn't see I had a disability. But once it started to progress, even when I started using a cane, I would go to job interviews and I would tell them, oh, I sprained my ankle, or I was in a car accident, instead of saying like I had muscular dystrophy, because to me that sounded better instead of saying that.
It sounded temporary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. I was saying everything but.
You're still winning, baby, and that's what matters. Like, that's the incredible.
I'm trying. Thank you.
I'm happy you made that choice to be like, you know what, I'm not letting this stop me. So let's do what I gotta do.
Right.
Is that your shirt? Yes, you selling those shirts?
Yes, I do, and I have men's too. I have Trust Your Dopeness shirts. I have Men Chronically Rock on there. So yes, definitely have a list of t-shirts.
What people can buy? I don't know if y'all did this already. Where can people buy them?
Sure, you can buy them on girlschronicallyrock.com. And you can also catch me on Instagram, girlschronically_rock, and on Facebook as well.
I love it. I'm definitely gonna get me a shirt. I'm gonna get my mom one too.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
my God, I
yes.
would love that. Oh, your mom. Yes.
Yeah, she's still fighting. She will not use a cane or a walker.
Really?
You
Okay.
know, at the airport, it takes us a while, but she ain't getting in nobody's
Right.
will.
She's like, that's how like my mom is. Like she has like a kidney disease and she walks a little slower. And I'm like, Mom, let's get a wheelchair. She's like, no, no, I'm walking. But I'm like, hey, I need it. I know
She said,
that.
"Don't
I'm
take
like,
away
cause
my independence."
Right.
right.
And
I'm
I'm like,
like,
oh, okay, we'll just go a little slower, which works for me
Mhm.
anyway, because I got a kid. You know, once you got kids, everything is slow.
yes, I can imagine.
But she's still fighting it.
Oh, good for her. I love that. Yes, definitely got to rock a shirt for her.
Yes. So this inspiration is everything. Like my niece, one of my nieces, we were buying Christmas presents, right? And I start really early because we have a really big family. So I
Too.
asked her, I said, what do you want? And Barbie now makes a wheelchair Barbie. So she asked for a
Saw
Barbie
that.
camper and she wanted the Barbie in a wheelchair.
Oh,
And so I went on Amazon and I sent it to her and I started thinking, you know, I always say representation matters.
it does.
Um, can you imagine you are representation to other little girls who look like you who didn't have that before?
Right.
So do you ever like take any time to go to schools or to talk to children, express?
Yes, actually, I do. There's an organization I work with out here in Cambridge called Partners Youth for Disabilities, and those are teenagers like from 14 to 21. So I think it's so important to show them, like, yes, you can do it.
Yeah,
Advocate for yourself, especially in the workforce. Because, yes, as I mentioned, I wasn't so open about it at first, but until you tell them, they're not going to know, especially working in retail. Like when they ask me, oh, can you go climb up those stairs? I couldn't do that. But I was so ashamed to tell them I have muscular dystrophy. I wasn't advocating for myself. So I think that's so important now to tell students that and say, advocate. If you need those accommodations, you tell them. If you need to speak, if you need to sit closer in class, tell them that. Because until you do, they don't know.
absolutely. Do you wish that there was more representation that looks like you when you were younger?
Yes. I mean, it definitely was because I feel like, because remember, I was diagnosed in early 20s. So it's
Right.
like I tell people, I feel like, I had this able body like I was playing softball, running up and down the stairs like nothing. And then boom, now I'm a part of this awesome disability community. So it's like now I feel like I can use my knowledge, especially with the fashion, with adaptive fashion, all of that. But yes, I feel like we do need to be represented more. That's why I even put that on a t-shirt during the whole protest with like, everything with the whole Black Lives Matter. I thought it was important to put on my t-shirt, Black Disabled Lives Matter too. Because here I am as an African American and I have a disability. So sometimes I feel like I got two targets on my back. So I thought that was very important to put that on my t-shirt because I like to express kind of what I'm going through and what I'm feeling through my t-shirt lines with different inspirational quotes. But yes, I feel like it definitely does need to get more representation. And I'm actually speaking with some of my other African friends that I've had, like my Black friends on Facebook that also have muscular dystrophy. And I'm like, for Black History Month, we should do like a panel or something and just kind of like, do something that can go viral. Because I'm like, yes, we definitely need to be represented more.
And not just represented. I think the fact that you guys speak out and tell your story, it's educational for other people. And we can't grow, we can't evolve, we can't even help or figure out how we're supposed to react to things if we don't know anything about it. So the
Exactly.
education part of it to me is pretty awesome. Like just listening to your story, I mean, I've dealt with my own struggles and things like that, but hearing your story, it makes me want to go out and help spread the word so that people know, like, oh, if you feel like your leg is doing X, Y, and Z, maybe
Yeah.
go get that looked at so that you can,
Yes.
start to not necessarily fix because you can't fix it, but get treatment or whatever that is. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So it makes you aware of the things that are possible, could
Yeah,
happen, whatever, and what to be
definitely.
on the lookout for. So I appreciate that. I
I,
think that's just it's so good to hear, symptoms and things like that, especially people like us, people of color, like we, honey,
we
some of
ignore
us, we be like,
everything.
I ain't going to no doctor, it's
Yes.
fine.
Well, see, that's what I was doing.
So to know that this could be, you get this symptom, go get it looked at, man. Like
Hmm.
we always the people who are just like, I'll be all right tomorrow.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. We do that about everything.
Yeah.
We ignore it, we suck it up because that's how
Yeah.
we've been taught. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Keisha, I love the fact you said something and it keeps replaying in my head over and over and over again. You said this awesome disabled community. I always tell my daughter, your approach and your attitude is everything.
Yeah.
But then when I thought about, like, as you're talking about other things, I keep hearing this awesome disabled community.
Yeah.
Everybody who I know is disabled is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So where did you come up with that? Like, how do you wake up with that mindset every day?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it definitely took time. Like I tell people, I feel like I just came out of denial the other day because you couldn't tell me I had muscular dystrophy. You cannot. It wasn't until the day I started blogging and writing and actually saying my symptoms out loud. I'm like, wow, I have muscular dystrophy. That's crazy. It was never mind what the doctors were saying. It took for me to start writing that out loud. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have muscular dystrophy. That's insane. So I think it just kind of all started from there. And like I always say, just connecting with other people. I started using like hashtags like disability awareness, hashtag muscular dystrophy. And I've connected with so many other people that look like me. And that made me feel good because I'm like, I'm not alone. Look at, I have this other black girl here. She got the same type I have, limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, and just connecting with her and those people I've connected with at that time, I still chat to this day. We're still on group chats because, like I always say, yes, I may get the support of family and friends, but there's like nothing talking to somebody who gets it and knows what that's like living in a body with a disability and live with muscular dystrophy. So I think it all kind of just came over time, but I'm just like, yeah, we're here. We're just like everybody else. We may need certain accommodations, but that's why I'm like all about adaptive fashion. Like we date, we like to go out, we want to have a good time. So, we're here.
Okay, so now I want to get nosy.
Oh God.
Are you in a relationship?
Not right now. I am single, but I'm on dating websites. I totally post my pictures of me in my wheelchair. So, I'm single, ready to mingle, but I would say I'm kind of more focused on Girls Chronically Rock, if I'm gonna be honest. That's my baby.
Okay, wait, you're on dating websites. Like, I don't have that much balls. What is that like? Like, where are you? How can they find your profile? How can they either get you to swipe left or swipe right? See, I'm so lame. I found out about all this like when we did Punky because I was
I
trying
like
to
Bumble a lot.
What's it called?
I heard of that.
Bumble?
Yeah.
Bumble.
Yeah,
my
Bumble
boy.
is the reason I like Bumble is to like when you match with the guy, so you have to write to them first before they can write to you. So if you don't write to them, the match goes away, I think like 24 hours.
Mhm.
Oh, seems like Shar knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm on Bumble too. Yeah, and they have to pay for the service.
Yes.
Yeah. Cassie did it. She was like, "You need to." So I'm on Bumble,
Yeah, my
but
boy on there.
and they have to pay for the service. You see, the people are there like kind of serious.
Yeah.
Not like I'm trying to hook up, swipe one way, whatever. No, I'm paying for this service, so I'm actually looking for something that improves my quality.
So, wait, we're gonna go back to Shar in a minute, but what is it that you're looking for? Because Cherie's World Podcast, we got about 180,000 listeners out there every
I mean, for someone that I like that has like that hustle mindset like I do. I want like me and him to kind of build an empire together, if that makes sense. I'm not looking for him to be like he has to have money because I have my own. I'm looking to build my Girls Chronically Rock empire. Like I said, I'm trying to live like the Kardashians, but I kind of like with somebody like on the same mindset as me. I like someone that motivates me, inspires me. Like, hey, Keisha, you got this. Because you know what I mean. I had guys in the past where they came with me to my doctor's appointments, and I thought that was sexy. Because I was like, not as open because I'm like, are they going to accept me for who I am? But now it's like they have to accept me. This is who I am. This muscular dystrophy is not going anywhere, and this is me. So they're either with it or they're not.
So
yeah, I'm looking for someone like that.
What's your type? Do you have a type?
I do have a type. I want to say I'm kind of like Rick Ross type. I'm a chubby chaser.
Nothing wrong
and
with
I like
that.
the beard. Yeah, so I'm that. Even like when my friends or my caregivers are like, "Oh yeah, Keisha, that would make sense."
Keisha, I kind of like the same type. Ain't nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their type, right?
Yes. Now back to Shar real quick. Now I know you got this dating profile or whatever.
And it says, I'm just trying to expand my squad. You know what I mean? Let me just
My squad.
yeah, I'm just testing the water, seeing what's out there, seeing if I even like dating again.
Nothing wrong with that.
And what's your type?
My kids are all about to be grown. Like I have one left who's 17, and he's like, "Mom, I'm moving out in 6 months. You might want to get some friends." So.
So look, wait, I gotta sit back, Lord Jesus. What your type is? Because men be hitting me up about you in the inbox all the time, and I think I'd be like dry hating.
I'm very shallow. I like pretty.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have to, right now I'm in a stage in my life where they have to definitely offer something, like I have to be able to look at them and be impressed for whatever reason. If it's mentally, not so much physically anymore. I do like pretty though. I'm gonna say that. But I wanna be able to learn something from them. You know what I mean? And I feel like if it doesn't add a plus sign to our lives in my emotional state, then it's not gonna happen. So I'm very and shallow.
So come on, DMs. I'm looking for a man that's pretty for one of these ladies. And then I'm looking for another man who got that big old ex-football player Rick Ross vibe.
Rose.
It's the Cherie dating show.
Now, when I call y'all both back.
Just send me the pictures, send me the profiles.
I got a couple homeboys that's on Bumble. They be knocking them down too. They be talking about it.
Well, that's not the ones that they want.
I know, but I'm just letting you know.
And you can put that in your profile too. Don't hit me with some bullshit. How about that?
We're not looking for the ones that knocking them down.
Threw it on them.
Not here for the hookup.
And I'm like, I don't need the stress. I already, I'm dealing with muscular dystrophy. Like, I don't need the added stress. You know what I mean? Like, you either going to be supportive of me and Girls Chronically Rock, or
right.
I can just sit and watch my shows like I do.
So 2022 is right around the corner.
I can't believe it.
I know. My year is gone. What will you change next year?
I am looking to just grow bigger and better with myself, trying to work on my patience, trying to realize like everything can't be built in one day, and just trying to build Girls Chronically Rock bigger and better, and just kind of taking it day by day. Because as I tell people living after being diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, I realize your life can change in an instant. Like you can wake up tomorrow and boom, for less than 24 hours, you don't know what's going to happen. So I just honestly kind of just wake up, take it day by day, and can continue to strive, send my emails on my laptop. But I'm just hoping to get bigger and better with myself as a person, an individual, but then also with the business.
What about you, Courtney? What you going to change?
2022?
Yeah.
And I ain't even thought about it.
So right around the corner.
Yeah, you got to think. Okay, we'll come back to you, Shar. Well, what you going to change?
Sometimes I get comfortable, and I'm not going to do that next year. Next year it's all about the upgrade. I'm going to work my butt off, so that I can evolve to the next level of me. So all the time that I take, and I go, I'll do that later. So no procrastinations. I'm literally going big or going home.
I like that.
I'm traveling more next year, definitely.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm getting out. I got out once this year. I'm like, nah, I'm getting out a lot next year.
Yeah.
I'm getting out.
What about you, Chair?
I think time management. Mm-hmm. I am one of those people who've never really had a schedule. I've never been good on a schedule, but I'm always on time. Mm-hmm. Except for today with Keisha. I'm so sorry.
My bad.
That was nothing.
But I think I'm going to start. I'm always awake, but I'm gonna start getting up in the morning, and I'm gonna spend time to show up for myself. I always show up for other people, but I don't show up for myself.
I like that. So
I'm going to do more than lay there and manifest and worry about not waking my daughter up. If I wake her up, I'm gonna wake her up.
Hey, say that again. You said I'm always up but never awake. What you say? How you say that?
I'm always up, but I don't necessarily show up for myself.
I like that.
I make sure that I spend my day and I handle everything for everybody else that I told them that I was going to do. And I always put myself on the back burner. And in my 40s, I'm starting to get better with putting myself first. So now I'm going to wake up in the morning with a purpose every day. And I'm going to show up and I'm going to put my things that are on my to-do list first. And then if I have time to do things for others, then I'm going to do it. But I've never woken up with, Cherie purpose every day. And from now on, the first couple hours of my day is going to be for me. And everybody else is going to have to wait. And if that's selfish, it's selfish.
That's right.
Yeah, no, that's not selfish at all.
As a matter of fact, that's beneficial for everybody. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of you, you can't really take care of everybody else. You can try, you can do a little bit, but you're not giving them the 100%. You know what I mean? You got to take care of you first. And I learned that too. We grew up kind of just
doing for
time for us, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes. That's going to be my 2022.
Hey.
Keisha, what can Cherie's World podcast do to, not that you need our assistance because you're fine on your own, but what can we do to assist the journey?
Just bring awareness about Girls Chronically Rock brand. Let people understand my mission, my movement, because it's not just about clothing. I look at it as Girls Chronically Rock movement, and just let them know where to find me and bring awareness about adaptive fashion, disability awareness. And yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's all I'm asking for.
So do I have the permission to wear your clothes?
Of course. Yes, of course.
Okay. I was going to say, because we have to get permission to wear
logos. Oh, okay. I understand. But no, of course. That would be an honor. Are you kidding me? I would love that. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Shoot, you done taught me some things I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to be saying that from now on. I'm going to be like, the handicap community is an awesome community. I got that from Miss Keisha. For real, you need to slogan that. Put that on a shirt.
Yes. That's an idea.
Yeah,
I can work on that.
That's going to reminisce in my head.
Okay.
Way after this conversation.
Okay.
But y'all gonna see me in some Girls Chronically Rock gear, okay? And make sure you go pick up yours too.
Yes, please do.
Because I believe in rocking homies. The last time we shot, I had the dude who played Waldo on my chest.
Yep.
Today we're celebrating Dr. Dre being divorced.
Dr. Dre.
I keep the homies with me.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Keisha, you need to be on Tinder. That's what it sounds like to me.
I used to be on Tinder. I was. Yeah, but then I don't know. I just kind of fell off of that. I know some people that got married off of Tinder. A few people I know.
I know somebody too that in the
is that the swipe though?
Yeah.
Shar, we got a cousin who got married off of Tinder.
Really?
Oh. Yes. They done had a whole baby and everything and are very happy.
Yep. I know.
I did not know that Tinder was actually for dating.
Yeah, it seems like
it wasn't, but people have fell in love.
Oh, yeah. So you can find love off of Tinder.
Yeah.
And I have a cousin that found her husband off Plenty of Fish.
Hey, so Keisha, since you're still here, when we interviewed Shar earlier, there was an episode Jimmy Kimmel did live Different Strokes. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
He did a live Different Strokes and live Facts of Life. And
I missed that. And
he recasted everybody. Like Kevin Hart played Arnold. Gabrielle Union played Tootie. Damon Wayans played Willis. Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
It was dope. So I asked Shar to recast Moesha. An episode of Moesha. She did it. It was dope. So now I'm going to ask Cherie to recast, Family Matters. And she already said she gonna need help doing it because she don't know nobody. So
I don't watch TV. I don't know actors.
So you and Shar can help her, all right? Because she said she gonna need help.
Let me think.
So no. I'm gonna give you the characters.
I don't, just to let you know, Keisha, like they know, I literally don't watch TV. So asking me actors is completely unfair because unless I know them personally, I don't know.
No, but Keisha might have this though because she watches shows all day. You know what I mean? So she might have a cast
I might.
like this.
I need your
She
help.
might come with it.
I might.
My episode was Josie and the Gun. Right, Cherie, do you remember the episode?
Only
Josie?
because you brought it up, and I know that.
Squash.
I'm about to, yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever done on TV. But besides from that, Freddie Prinze Jr. was his first job. He was on that episode.
Yeah.
And the homegirl was on that episode.
Trina McGee.
Yes, Trina McGee was on that episode. She was Josie.
Shar, you remember that episode?
I don't remember that one. I didn't check it out.
They shot Trina. And remember,
Yes.
On Family Matters, yeah, somebody got shot. Just think about that. Somebody got shot on Family.
And then they made us say at the end of the episode, and if you look at my face, I was not a very good actor because, first of all, we had all white writers and producers. You know, our uncle was one of them, and they made us say, "Squash it." And so, like, I kept trying to tell him, I got a little hood cred, y'all killing it. And we supposed to be from Chicago. You can't make me say squash.
Wait, no. With the hand gesture?
Yeah. And so it's, in fact,
hate it, y'all.
My homegirl, Jen, we really should have her call in right now because she clowns me at least twice a year. About
See what I'm saying, Shar? This used to be one of my favorite shows, and now she just ruined it for me.
Because
they ruined it when they asked her to say
squash it.
Squash it.
I felt like the biggest dweeb, and I'm from the hood. How am I supposed to go home after I say squash it?
Can't even go back to Agora Hills after doing that.
Well, especially now because the Kardashians done made it colorful out there.
Yeah.
We used to live in Color Blacklist. Now it's
right.
Black.
So y'all help Cherie out, all right?
Oh, Cherie, God, okay.
Cherie, who would you cast as Carl Winslow?
Wait, who was the first character?
Carl Winslow. Who was she cast? Cherie, you ain't gonna play.
Yeah, you gotta play too, Chair. Come on.
Cedric the Entertainer.
See,
okay.
That's a good
That's
one.
actually a good idea.
That's a good one. All right, who would you cast as Harriet?
Aunt Viv.
Which one? The black, light skin, or dark skin?
I can say it with you right now.
The only one we acknowledge, the dark skin Aunt Viv.
All right. Who would you cast as Eddie Winslow?
Texas Battle.
Yeah. Look at Shar. Y'all look. See these inside jokes, Keisha. See, they got these inside
because that's the homie. He kind of tall.
Yeah, I need someone tall.
Like permanent hair or something like that.
So
right?
I have a different Eddie Winslow.
Okay.
What's his name? Aldous Hodge.
Oh, sorry, Aldous.
I can't think of who that is.
Come on, Cherie. Aldous Hodge.
With an A?
Yeah.
Let me see.
He and his brother are both actors. He was in what's that? The movie that Regina directed, One Night, and yeah.
This guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen him.
Yeah.
Who would you cast as Laura?
Yeah. That's it.
It's cute. My cousin.
Hey.
We used to think I was Laura and vice versa. Beauty. So I mean, I could be either.
Who would you cast as Waldo?
Who could be Waldo?
What about the dude who played Arnez? What's his real name from One on One?
Oh, oh my God. See, I should know
I would
this.
say Waldo or Steve for him.
Wait. 101.
Yeah,
Yeah, the TV
Flex?
show with Kyla Pratt.
the
Come on,
homie.
Flex.
No,
Oh.
not Flex.
Oh,
Not like the one that was in love
Oh,
with
one
Rihanna,
on
her
one.
daughter.
What was it? 101.
the best friend.
I'm
Yeah, the guy
embarrassed
best
that I
friend.
can't think of his name. And my
I can't
internet.
either. I don't know.
He's
He
got
was
a
on that
great
show.
body. He's a little boy, but he's got a great body.
Yeah, and he was on that show
Yes.
Harlem that I
Oh,
just finished
he
watching.
just did that Harlem movie, right?
Yes, that show. I'm about to rewatch it. That show was really good.
My
And he was a
internet is.
stripper in that show.
You say you would cast him as Waldo?
I would say Waldo or I think Steve.
Maybe Steve.
I
Yeah.
think I can see him playing both, like a nerdy, because he was cousin Skeeter.
Oh, you
too.
talking about Robert Richard?
Yes.
I cannot think of his like real name.
I forgot
Once
what
we get involved in a character on a show, I just know them as that. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, Arnett.
Right. Yeah. No.
Oh,
Robert
yeah.
Richard.
Who would you cast as the guy who Freddie Prinze character? I know he just was a minor character, but who would you?
Eminem.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Then I would have to come to set that day.
Well, you're Laura. You'd be
Oh,
there.
that's right. Yeah, Laura.
All right, who would you cast as Josie?
God, Trina can't have her job.
Yeah, it's a live cast, new cast.
What about China? China McClain.
Oh, she's a cute little girl.
I like Charlie.
Yeah.
What about Zendaya? Zendaya may not, but she's a good actor too, though.
Please
Yes,
understand,
she
y'all, I love Zendaya.
I do
Yeah,
too.
she's
Zendaya or Zendaya? How's she pronounced?
I think it's Zendaya.
I
think.
love her.
I'm proud of her.
I love that little girl. I don't know why. I love her.
I do too.
Article. Who would you cast as Urkel?
Kevin Hart.
Probably the
Kevin Hart or Cat Williams?
Cat
Oh.
Williams. Wow.
Now that's funny. Cat would be hilarious.
Hilarious.
Kevin would be
Oh my
funny
God.
too. But Cat would be hilarious.
Come on,
Cat
man.
would.
Think about it.
And them tight pants and overalls,
Yes.
and everything.
All right, last one. Who would y'all cast as Maxine?
Ooh.
Can't recast.
Oh, I can't. Why don't we just cast the girl everybody think I am?
Who? Oh, that girl.
The chick from Martin.
Oh, I thought you were
Gina?
talking about the other
Tisha
girl.
Campbell?
No, not Tisha Campbell. The one that played Cole's girlfriend.
I thought you was talking about the
What?
other girl.
What other girl?
Remember when they made that press clipping of you going back to Punky, and she's like she had all that surgery, just had a lot of work done.
Oh, homegirl from the reality show.
Yeah, forgot her name.
Oh man, I can't think of her name.
Neither can now.
I wouldn't cast her, but I like her.
No.
I tried to get her to do the show.
Let's make Maxine wild out. Let's cast Cardi B.
Perfect.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. What she say?
Perfect.
It's a party here, Keisha.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I enjoy laughing. That's what keeps my day going.
What kind of music you listen to, Keisha?
Well, I love like R&B. I love hip hop, but I also love a lot of reggae and calypso. My family is from Barbados. So yes, I do think Rihanna is my cousin in my head. She does not know it yet.
No, the
but we are
island's so
first
small.
cousins.
She might be your.
Yeah,
your
I'm
cousin.
like, I be tagging her on Instagram, like, hello. I bought some of her Savage Fenty, and I'm like, yo, Rihanna, let's make this adaptive. Like, no, she's gonna realize we're first cousins.
How did
My
she?
guy cousins may not want to accept that because they'd be a little upset now because they find out she might be pregnant. I'm like, no, she's our cousin. You're disgusting. Like, she's our first cousin.
How did
So
she
I'm
become the most
manifesting that.
powerful woman
But the thing
in
is,
the
when I
world?
tell certain people that, they believe it. They're like, really? Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah.
How did she become the most powerful woman in the world?
I don't know, because she's the bomb. I mean, she just does amazing things. You know, she did a lot for Barbados, which I must admit. That's why like they appreciated her the other day. She got like an award for being like
Yeah.
ambassador of Barbados. So she does a lot for the hospitals out there. So that's one thing I like, that she never forgot where she came from. And I love that she still has that Bajan accent too. I'm like, that's so sexy to me. So yes, that's my cousin.
She put in that work.
Right.
Yes.
I love, you know why I love her? Because she's unapologetically her.
Yes.
And I think that's why the world loves her. Like she
doesn't care.
Yeah, it's flaws and all. Either you love me or you don't. And I think she's the first Black woman to go ahead, take her clothes off when she feels like it, put them back on when she don't feel like being nakedy, and you have to accept it. And it's like she's the Black Madonna.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
I was gonna say, I hate to compare them, but Madonna came out and she was so free and she did what she wanted, and either people embraced it or they didn't. Rihanna's done the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just like in a ratchet way, because there's some ratchets who did that too, but it's a little different.
She kept it classy.
Yes. But I love my Riri.
I love her too. And I love that everything is on her own terms.
Yes.
Yep.
But I think the short answer is, how did she become that person, is because she claimed it.
Yeah.
She claimed it and put in the work.
Yeah. Work.
Penny.
I love her. She's my girl crush. You know how girls,
she's awesome.
Yeah. Like I tell my homeboys all the time, you want to go get you one? You need to go get Riri. I told one of the homies, I was like, you need to find your equal. And the problem is that you haven't found your equal. Go get Riri for 3 days and let her change your life.
That ain't no easy task, Cherie. Otherwise, everybody be trying to get Riri's.
No, but now she's booed up, and we all need those.
Yes. What else you want the audience to know about you, Keisha?
Just kind of like, you never know what someone's going through. Mm-hmm. What I realized from after being diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, you never know someone's story, someone's journey. So don't be quick to judge. You just kind of never know what they're dealing with on a daily basis. But yeah, just be aware of that.
That's
I like how you see that.
Thank you for letting me get nosy and all in your business. Yeah.
I think
that's what Cheers World Podcast is all about. Like, it's nice to know about your business. We want to know what you're doing, but we want to know a little bit what you want us to know about you.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you were like transparent.
Yeah. Yeah, I am now. Like I said, if you had asked me a few years back, like, do you see yourself chatting or opening a business, inspiring others in the disability community? I'll be like, no way. How could I? I don't have muscular dystrophy. That's how much in my mindset it was. So I'm just like, to look back to see how far I've come, I'm like, wow, you couldn't tell me this. Like, I would be here today.
Wow. One last question. Would you get that chip that Elon Musk is talking about? Once you learn more about it, would that be something you'd be interested in?
Oh yes, it would. Yeah. Like, definitely. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on your podcast. I greatly
my God. Thank you. I'm gonna be looking for you to come back, okay? Because we need an update. We need I know some men's is gonna be hitting me up.
Cherries.
Well, maybe we'll come back on with Rihanna.
You might not want the men to be in Cherie's DM.
Oh God.
Not the ones that be hitting on me, but hopefully you'll have better luck.
I'll try to find somebody.
It was so nice to meet you, Keisha.
Nice to meet you as well, all of you. And thank you so much for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming. And I owe you an email because I got a picture to send you. Welcome to Cherie's World. On the show today, we will be talking to...
Mommy, I'm so hungry.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
What up, Cherie? Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's World. Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's World.